Ever feel like something's trying to grab your attention, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Here's something most people won't tell you. The universe has been sending you messages your entire life, but you've probably been too distracted to notice. Right now, while you're reading this, there's a good chance you're experiencing one of the most significant transformations a human being can go through, a spiritual awakening. The signs are already there. Maybe you've been noticing the same numbers everywhere, feeling inexplicably exhausted, or suddenly questioning everything you once believed about reality. What if I told you that these aren't random coincidences, but rather the universe desperately trying to tell you something crucial about your path forward? Topic 1. The language of synchronicity. The universe doesn't speak English and Spanish or any human language. It speaks through patterns, coincidences, and what most people dismiss as random chance. And when you keep bumping into the same person at the grocery store 3 weeks in a row, or when a stranger mentions exactly what you've been thinking about all morning, that's not luck. That's the universe tapping you on the shoulder. These synchronicities are like cosmic breadcrumbs, leading you toward your highest self and away from paths that no longer serve your spiritual growth. Most folks spend their entire lives ignoring these whispers, chalking them up to coincidence, and then wonder why they feel stuck in the same patterns year after year. Think about the last time you thought of an old friend and they texted you 5 minutes later, or when you needed guidance and randomly opened a book to the exact page with your answer. These aren't flukes. They're the universe showing you that you're more connected to everything than your ego wants to admit. The moment you start paying attention to these meaningful coincidences, you'll notice they happen more frequently, almost as if the universe is rewarding your awareness with clearer signs. Your job isn't to force these synchronicities or manufacture meaning where there isn't any. It's to develop the sensitivity to recognize them when they appear naturally in your reality. The tricky part about synchronicity is that it requires you to be present, which is precisely what our modern world trains you not to be. When you're scrolling through your phone, worrying about tomorrow or replaying yesterday's conversations, you're energetically unavailable to receive the universe's guidance. Start by picking one day this week where you deliberately notice repeating patterns, whether it's numbers, colors, words, or themes that keep showing up. Write them down in a journal without judgment, and watch how this simple practice opens an energetic portal between your conscious awareness and the deeper intelligence orchestrating your life. Topic 2. Physical symptoms as spiritual messages. Your body is having a full-blown conversation with you about your spiritual awakening, but you've probably been misinterpreting the signals as health problems. Those unexplained headaches, the bone-deep fatigue that 8 hours of sleep doesn't fix, the random aches that move around your body like they have a mind of their own. These are symptoms of your energy field expanding, not signs you're falling apart. When consciousness shifts, it doesn't just happen in your mind. Every cell in your body has to recalibrate to hold higher frequencies of energy, and that process isn't always comfortable. Most people run to doctors, which is smart for ruling out medical issues, but they never consider that their body might be shedding old energetic patterns that no longer match their evolving soul. The tingling sensations, the electric shock feelings, the sudden temperature changes, these are all indications that your chakras are opening and your energetic body is coming online. Think of it like this. If you've been living your whole life with dimmed lights and someone suddenly cranks them to full brightness, your eyes need time to adjust. Your nervous system is literally rewiring itself to perceive subtle energies you've been filtering out for years, and that rewiring feels physical because everything is energy at its core. Some people experience heart palpitations not because there's something wrong with their heart, but because their heart chakra is cracking open to experience deeper levels of compassion and connection. Here's what you can do right now. When physical discomfort arises without a clear medical cause, instead of panicking, sit quietly and ask your body what it's trying to tell you. Place your hand on the area that hurts and breathe into it with curiosity rather than resistance. Try grounding practices like walking barefoot on grass or earth for 15 minutes daily. This helps your root chakra stabilize while your upper chakras are expanding. If you're experiencing intense fatigue, honor it rather than pushing through with another coffee. Your body is doing profound energetic work while you rest, integrating new levels of consciousness that will fundamentally change how you experience reality. Ginapu, Ifo, the uncomfortable gift of energetic hypersensitivity. Suddenly you can feel everything, the tension in a room before anyone speaks, the heaviness someone carries even when they're smiling, the jarring energy of certain foods or environments that never bothered you before. Welcome to energetic hypersensitivity, one of the most challenging yet powerful symptoms of spiritual awakening that nobody warns you about. This isn't you becoming too sensitive or developing anxiety issues. This is your natural ability to perceive energy coming back online after years of being suppressed. Most of humanity walks around energetically numb, filtering out 99% of the subtle information constantly flowing through reality, and now you're experiencing life without those filters. This heightened sensitivity means you're picking up on people's authentic emotional states, not just the masks they present to the world. You might walk into a mall and feel overwhelmed by the collective energy of hundreds of people, their desires, frustrations, and pain washing over you in waves. Foods you used to love might suddenly make you feel heavy or clouded because you're now sensitive to their energetic frequency, not just their nutritional content. The good news: this sensitivity is actually a superpower in disguise. It allows you to navigate life with unprecedented clarity, avoiding situations and people that drain your energy before they become problems. The key to working with hypersensitivity is learning energetic boundaries without shutting down your gifts. Before entering crowded spaces, visualize a protective boundary of light around your energy field. Think of it like an energetic raincoat that keeps you dry while others' emotions rain down. Start noticing which environments, people, and activities leave you feeling energized versus depleted. Then ruthlessly redesign your life around what nourishes your soul. Practice grounding exercises daily. Place your hands on a tree. Visualize roots growing from your feet into the earth, or simply spend time in nature where the energy is clean and balanced. This isn't about becoming less sensitive. It's about learning to wield your sensitivity with intention rather than being at its mercy. Topic 4. The loneliness of spiritual isolation. There's a phase in awakening where you feel profoundly, inexplicably alone, not because people have abandoned you, but because you've outgrown conversations about nothing. Small talk becomes physically painful, like trying to fit into clothes you wore as a child. You've expanded, and the old ways of connecting simply don't accommodate your new consciousness. Your family might look at you like you've joined a cult when you mention meditation or energy, and your oldest friends might slowly distance themselves because you're no longer interested in complaining about the same problems without taking action. This isolation isn't a punishment. It's a necessary part of the transformation, a cosmic clearing of space so something more authentic can emerge. Your nervous system interprets this social disconnection as danger, which is why spiritual isolation often comes with anxiety, not just sadness. The body's ancient wiring screams that being separated from the tribe means death, even though your soul knows this solitude is actually the birthplace of your true self. You're not losing your mind. You're losing your identification with a false version of yourself that was built to please others and fit in. The old you is dying, and death, even ego death, is uncomfortable and lonely because you're in the space between who you were and who you're becoming. Instead of fighting this phase or desperately trying to reconnect with people who no longer match your frequency, embrace the solitude as sacred. This is your season to meditate, journal, read the books that speak to your soul. Try The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle or The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer to understand what's happening inside you. Use this time to develop a relationship with your higher self, the aspect of you that's been waiting your entire life for this moment of attention. Join online communities of others going through awakening where you can share experiences without judgment. Knowing you're not alone and feeling alone somehow makes the isolation more bearable. Trust that as you become clearer about your authentic self, you'll naturally attract soul connections that operate on your new frequency. The loneliness isn't forever. It's the fertilizer for deeper, truer relationships ahead. Topic 5. When reality stops making sense. Everything you thought you knew about how life works is suddenly questionable. Career success doesn't feel as important. Material possessions lose their appeal, and the goals you've been chasing seem hollow. You look around at society and see through the illusions, the rat race, the performance, the collective agreement to pretend we're separate beings competing for limited resources. This isn't depression, though it might be diagnosed as such. This is your consciousness expanding beyond the programming you received about what matters and what's real. The sense of existential dislocation is actually your soul saying, finally, you're questioning the matrix instead of just accepting it. You might find yourself asking questions you've never seriously considered before. Who am I beyond my job title and relationships? What is consciousness? Why are we here? These aren't philosophical exercises. They're burning questions that demand answers because your entire sense of identity is shifting from form to formlessness, from personality to presence. The universe is essentially showing you that everything you considered solid was actually a story, and now you're waking up to the storyteller behind the story. This realization can be destabilizing because humans crave certainty, and spiritual awakening demolishes every false certainty you've been clinging to. Rather than trying to force the old meaning back into your life, give yourself permission to not know. Spend time in nature observing how trees don't question their purpose. They simply express their true nature, moment by moment. Start a daily practice of sitting in silence for even 5 minutes, not trying to achieve anything, just being present with whatever arises. This is where you'll hear your soul's guidance most clearly. Beneath the noise of a confused mind trying to figure everything out. Read spiritual texts from various traditions. Try the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, or modern works like Autobiography of a Yogi, not to adopt new beliefs, but to remind yourself that countless beings throughout history have walked this path and emerged transformed. Topic 6. Heightened intuition and inner knowing. That gut feeling you used to dismiss. It's become impossible to ignore, almost like a separate voice in your head that knows things your logical mind hasn't figured out yet. Your intuition is amplifying during awakening, giving you access to information beyond the 5 senses. You might know who's calling before you check your phone, or get a strong urge to take a different route home that saves you from an accident. This isn't magical thinking. It's your consciousness connecting with the unified field where all information exists, and you're learning to download what's relevant for your path. Most people have this capacity, but it's buried under layers of rationalization and cultural conditioning that says only provable, measurable things are real. This enhanced intuition often comes with an ability to read people and situations with uncomfortable accuracy. You might know someone's lying before they finish their sentence, or sense an opportunity is perfect for you even when it doesn't look good on paper. The challenge is learning to trust this inner guidance over external validation, especially when everyone around you thinks you're making a mistake. Your intuition speaks in whispers, feelings, and subtle nudges, not in loud, demanding voices, so it requires you to quiet down enough to hear it. Start treating your intuition like a muscle that needs training. Keep an intuition journal where you record hunches and later note whether they were accurate. You'll be amazed at your hit rate once you start paying attention. Practice making small, low-stakes decisions based purely on feeling rather than analysis. Which route to take, what to eat, who to text. Before major decisions, sit quietly and imagine each option, noticing where you feel expansion in your body versus contraction. Expansion is typically your soul's yes. Contraction is its no. The more you honor these intuitive hits with action, the louder and clearer they become, until accessing your inner wisdom becomes as natural as breathing. Topic 7. The call to purpose and meaning. There's a relentless hunger growing inside you for something more meaningful than just surviving, paying bills, and distracting yourself until death. You're being called, not to a specific career necessarily, but to align your entire life with your soul's purpose, whatever that means for you uniquely. This calling feels urgent, like you're running out of time to do what you came here to do, even though you might not know exactly what that is yet. The awakening has cracked open your heart to your own potential, and now anything less than full expression of your authentic self feels like suffocation. This search for purpose can make your current life feel like it's falling apart. You might want to quit your job without a backup plan, end relationships that feel misaligned, or move to a completely new place just to shake things up. The universe is showing you, sometimes not so gently, that you can't pour new wine into old wineskins. Your expanded consciousness needs new containers, new expressions, new ways of being in the world. This isn't recklessness. This is your soul demanding authenticity even when it's inconvenient. Before making drastic external changes, go inward first. Meditate daily on the question, what wants to be expressed through me, without forcing an answer. Notice what activities make you lose track of time. That's often where your soul's purpose lives. Start small. If you feel called to help others heal, begin by volunteering or taking a course in energy work or counseling. If you're drawn to creative expression, commit to making art every day for 30 days without worrying about quality or outcome. Your purpose reveals itself through action and experimentation, not through thinking about it endlessly. The calling isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for your willingness to show up as your true self and let the universe handle the details. Topic 8. Emotional turbulence and release. Your emotions might feel like they're on a roller coaster with no seatbelt. Intense joy one moment, inexplicable grief the next, anger surfacing for no logical reason. This emotional chaos isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. Your body is releasing decades of suppressed feelings that you've been storing in your tissues and energy field. Every time you didn't express hurt, swallowed anger to keep peace, or denied your true feelings to maintain an image, that energy got stored. Now that your consciousness is expanding, there's no more room for these old, dense emotions. They have to move out to make space for your higher self to move in. You're also becoming more empathetic, feeling others' emotions as if they're your own, which adds another layer of emotional intensity. This enhanced empathy is a gift that allows you to connect deeply and serve as a natural healer, but it requires learning whose emotions are whose. When you're crying and don't know why, it might be releasing your own stuck grief, or it might be picking up collective pain from humanity's shared suffering. The key distinction is this: your own emotions usually have a story attached, while absorbed emotions often feel vague and disconnected from your personal narrative. Create healthy practices for emotional release that don't involve numbing or repressing. Move your body, dance wildly in your living room, go for a run, practice yoga, because emotions are literally energy in motion, and they need physical expression. Try breathwork techniques like holotropic breathing or simple deep breathing for 5 minutes when emotions feel overwhelming. Breath is the bridge between conscious control and unconscious release. Journal without censoring yourself, letting the raw truth pour onto the page where it can be witnessed without judgment. If grief comes, cry. If rage surfaces, scream into a pillow or punch a mattress. Give these energies permission to move through and out of you. Each wave of emotion that you allow to complete its cycle clears space for more light, more peace, and more of your authentic essence to shine through. So here's the real question. Now that you recognize the signs, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep hitting the snooze button on your soul's wake-up call? Or are you finally ready to step into the transformation that's been knocking at your door? The universe isn't going to stop speaking to you. In fact, the messages will only get louder until you listen. Every synchronicity, every physical symptom, every moment of isolation and confusion is an invitation to elevate your soul beyond the limitations you've accepted as reality. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been beneath the layers of conditioning and fear. Will you commit to daily meditation, even if it's just 5 minutes? Will you journal the signs you notice? Trust your intuition over others' opinions, and honor what your body is trying to tell you. Are you ready to let the old version of yourself die so your true self can finally be born? Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 symptoms resonated most with you? And what's the one action you're committing to take today to honor your spiritual awakening? And if you're serious about continuing this journey of self-knowledge and enlightenment, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because the universe has a lot more to reveal to you, and I'll be here as your guide through every stage of this mystical transformation. Your awakening has already begun. The only question is whether you'll consciously participate in your own evolution or resist it. Choose wisely.